Today is Tuesday, January the 26th. I didn't do a video last night because really, not a lot was happening except the McClellan oscillator started to drop. Hopefully you looked at it yourself. But now it's dropped again even further today. So it's headed for the oversold line, which is really what we wanted to see because we knew that the market was hitting a top. Let's look at FinViz, and you can see that the decliners significantly outpaced the advancers by 20 points. So we've got the S&P now, which we don't need RSI bars on an S&P chart. Oops, don't want that either. So we've got the S&P now pulling back from its high. We don't expect the S&P to keep making higher highs every day. So this is fine. We're on our way to 39.46, but there could very well be a pullback down to the 20, hell, maybe even to the 50. It would be good for the market. It may not happen yet, but it's going to happen. This is the big week for earnings, so it could happen next week. Apple had a great day. 145.04. A lot of that growth was after hours. After Microsoft, Starbucks, and AMD reported great earnings. So we get rid of this green line here, which isn't a reference anymore, but we've made that double top and we've broken through and we've pulled back. But we had a day today where we underperformed the market. So we had very low volume. It was low selling, but it was low selling volume. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Apple has its earnings tomorrow. Look for a very big move. The volatility, last I checked this morning, was 80% for this week's options. And the market maker's move is, let's see if it still is the same way. Let's take a look, AAPL. The market maker move is 763 right now, plus or minus. So the stock could move $7 in either direction. I have the February 130 short puts, which now have $1,400 and $700 in net liquidation still left. So, 2/3 of the profit is already realized. I'm going to take it off tomorrow, and I'm going to place another bet on Apple going up. I don't think it's going to be this week's options. I would think I would be looking at maybe 2 or 3 weeks out, or maybe the January again, or the February again. But instead of the 130 puts, I would do the 140s, keeping me $5 below the close today. So if the move is $7 in either direction, that should be fairly safe. And it brings in like $5 or $6, so it's a pretty good deal. Z moved up. We had given up looking at that, but it did move up. And where did it move up to? It finished that Gartley pattern and then pulled back immediately. This is the importance of these Gartley patterns. Very quickly, a Gartley pattern is when a stock recovers either 38.61 or 78.6 of its X to A drop, and that determines if it's a bat pattern, if it's a Gartley pattern, or if it would be a butterfly pattern. And then it pulls back somewhere between B and A in a defined range. It can't go below A, but then it bounces up, and it would bounce up to 78.6 of XA, and that would complete the traditional Gartley pattern, named after the person who discovered it, Gartley. Square continues to get beat up, but the importance is, although we failed the 250s, we did keep support on the cloud. Now the 50s we said had been support in the past, so we highlighted those in one of our older videos. Let's look at how important the cloud was though. Cancel. Let's try to get rid of that arrow. Cancel, let's forget about it. But the cloud has been support here, 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 and there's no reason to think that it won't be support here. But if it isn't support, and look where the Chiku span ended up. The Chiku span ended up getting support right at the 20-day simple moving average. So both of those are important. I would expect a bounce in Square tomorrow, and I am still short the weekly 240s and 242.5 calls, and I've been rolling those for weeks now. I'm just going to continue to roll them again. There's very, very little left in them, so they're going to get rolled tomorrow. A bounce up would make the roll all the more attractive. NIO had a bit of a pullback today, so a little bit of weakness, but it's staying above 60. So that's very good. Happy with that stock as well. One that we took our eye off for a while, Cyber, has taken off. But I'm not going to trade Cyber for the simple reason that it's not very heavily traded. If you look at CYBR, it traded today only 400,000 shares. And if you look at its options, look at the February options, the volume today on the 165s was 11 contracts. On the 167.5s, 11 contracts. So it's hardly traded. If you did do a vertical spread on this, you'd have a tough time getting out of it because there just aren't many people on the other side to buy your closing position. Plug definitely broke out of this pattern today and made a new high. Plug would be a good stock to be buying on a move up tomorrow. Its earnings are coming up, I believe, early February, so keep an eye on that. But that's friend of mine told me about Plug when it was back in its 20s, and I didn't pay attention. Took a look at it and said, no, I'll play with NIO and Square instead. CVS, I thought CVS had, no, it didn't, but CVS is not closing this pattern. RKT, did it continue to go up? Big pull down from that bump yesterday. Let's just take a look at some of the new stocks. URI, United Rentals. If there's going to be a play for infrastructure, which now could be put off until September. If they can't get the Republicans to go with them on an infrastructure play in the first half of the year, they're going to have to do it through budget reconciliation. And that would have to wait for the next budget, so the 2021 budget, which would be passed in October. What a country, right? What a country. SONO, a little bit of a pullback. Might be an opportunity to buy if it comes down to the 20-day moving average. I'm not making many moves. I'm still long AT&T, that's just one of my long-term holds. I don't get out of that stock. I'm long NIO, I'm long Square, and I'm short Apple puts, and that's all I've got right now. I would love to see, I've been waiting for this for a long time, but I'm 50% cash, and I would love to see a nice little pullback on the S&P down to the 50. That would please me. And that would be a nice place to load up again.